I started a digital product business and got results that literally made my jaw drop. And no, I didn't make millions of dollars. This isn't that kind of cheesy fake video where I claim I became a millionaire in a month, but I was so shocked that I made anything at all because the formula that made me money in the end was way simpler than I thought it would be. In this video, I'm going to share my story and results too. I started this business because people make selling digital products sound ridiculously easy. Create something once, upload it, and watch the sales roll in while you sleep. And I wanted to put that to the test. But let me be honest, right from the start, it's not all rainbows, unicorns, and cash from the get-go. My first 30 days were a mix of learning, trial and error, and small wins that felt huge. This is the real story of what it takes to start a digital product business, from figuring out what to sell, to creating products, to managing expectations around revenue and profit. If you want an even deeper, more detailed blueprint with expert advice on how to sell your digital products to hundreds of thousands of people, click the link in the description. This will give you access to all the information you'll ever need, masterclasses, and advice from successful sellers who are making at least 6 figures a year from their digital products. The first thing I learned is that choosing a product to sell is a bigger challenge than it seems. I didn't want to waste time creating something nobody wanted. So, before I touched any design software, I spent hours doing research. I checked Etsy, Gumroad, and Pinterest to see what kinds of digital products were trending. Things like printable planners, templates, and educational tools kept popping up. But I didn't stop there. I read reviews to understand what buyers liked and disliked about the products, so I could use that feedback to make my products the best they could be. With all of this research in mind, I chose to start with budgeting templates. Why budgeting? Because it's universal. Almost everyone can benefit from tracking their money better. I also noticed that the market wasn't completely saturated, and there was room to stand out by focusing on ease of use. Once I made the decision, it was time to get to work. And let me tell you, creating digital products takes time and patience, especially when you're new to it. I used Canva to design my budgeting templates. It's beginner-friendly, but there's still a little learning curve if you're trying to make something professional. I typed in budget templates, opened one of these, and then tweaked it. My first design took me over an hour to complete. I kept changing things, like adjusting the layout to make it more intuitive, and testing different color schemes to make sure that everything was visually appealing but not overwhelming. I even ran my designs by a couple of friends to get their feedback. That was incredibly helpful because they pointed out things I missed, like unclear labels and sections that felt cramped. After finalizing my first template, I knew I couldn't stop there. I set a goal to create 5 listings by the end of the first week. Each new product built on what I'd learned from the previous one, so the process got a little faster over time. Still, I didn't rush. I made sure every template was high quality and offered genuine value. One thing I learned early on is that product presentation matters almost as much as the product itself. To make my listings stand out, I created mock-ups that showed the templates in use. For example, I added screenshots of the budgeting template filled out with sample data to give potential buyers a clear idea of how it worked. By the time I had 5 listings, my shop was ready to go live. Hitting that publish button felt both exciting and terrifying. I was proud of the work I'd done, but I also knew there were no guarantees. For the first few days, nothing happened. I checked my shop stats obsessively, refreshing the page every couple of hours, hoping to see a sale. On day 5, it finally happened. Someone bought my budgeting template, and I couldn't believe it. That first sale was only $7, but it felt like a huge milestone. It showed me that there was real potential in this business. After that first sale, things started picking up slowly. Some days I'd get 2 or 3 sales, while other days were completely quiet. I quickly realized that driving traffic to my shop was going to be an ongoing effort. While Etsy does bring in some organic traffic, especially if your keywords are on point, you can't rely on it entirely. I decided to experiment with Etsy ads. I set a small daily budget of $2 to start. The ads brought in more views and a couple of additional sales, but they weren't a magic solution. They helped, but they weren't going to carry my shop on their own. Let's talk about the numbers. By the end of the first month, I made $826 in total revenue. That might not sound like much, but for a brand new shop, I was happy with it. It showed me that my products were resonating with people, and that was enough to keep me motivated. Of course, revenue is only part of the story. After subtracting Etsy's fees, $15 for my Canva Pro subscription, and the $30 I spent on ads, my net profit came out to around $685. One thing I want to mention is the possibility of payment reserves. Some platforms like Etsy might hold a percentage of your funds if you're new or if you experience a sudden spike in sales. This didn't happen to me, but it's something to be aware of. To reduce the risk, avoid anything that might raise red flags, like having friends make large purchases right away. Keeping your sales activity steady and organic is key. Another thing I learned in those first 30 days is the value of customer feedback. Early on, one of my customers messaged me with a question about the budgeting listing template. They were confused about how to use a specific section. Instead of seeing it as a problem, I saw it as an opportunity. I updated the template to include clearer instructions and even sent the updated version to the customer for free. They ended up leaving a positive review, which boosted my shop's credibility. Reviews matter a lot, especially when you're just starting out. They can make or break your shop's visibility and trustworthiness. As I move into the next 30 days, my focus is on growth. My goal is to double the number of listings in my shop by creating 10 more products. To make that manageable, I'm planning out my designs in advance and setting aside dedicated time each day to work on them. I also plan to experiment with increasing my ad budget slightly to see if it leads to more consistent sales. While I can't control whether customers leave reviews, I'll continue to prioritize great customer service and encourage feedback whenever possible. Looking back, the biggest lesson I've learned is that success in this space comes down to consistency and adaptability. Starting a digital product business isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn as you go. But if you're willing to put in the work, it can be incredibly rewarding. If you're thinking about starting your own digital product business, my advice is simple. Start small, do your research, and focus on quality. Don't get discouraged if things don't take off right away. Every sale, no matter how small, is a step forward. And remember, the process is just as important as the results. If you have any questions about how to sell and create digital products, or if you want to learn more specific hacks, click the link in the description to join our free Wealthy Club school community. Inside, we share exclusive tips and updates on making money online, and we even do weekly giveaways. It's completely free, and you'll be surrounded by people who are also making money online like you. So check that out. What kind of digital product are you thinking of creating? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.